You're still watching The Big Story here on One News. Our big question tonight, saan aabot ang 100 pesos mo? Here's what netizens have to say.
Several motorists like Irvin say that 100 pesos is just enough to buy 1 liter of gasoline, while Orlando says the same amount can only buy him a one-way trip from Silang in Cavite to Alabang in Muntinlupa. Many netizens also said that these days, 100 pesos may not even be enough for 3 hearty meals. Romeo adds that with 100 pesos, he can only afford to buy 1 bangus and a kilo of bad rice. Some also lament that a 100 peso bill has almost no value in today's economy. But Blaze says that for those who think that 100 pesos is too little to have any value, he is more than willing to take the cash off of their hands. You may also continue to join us in the conversation. Simply use the hashtag #TheBigStory and follow us on Twitter and Facebook at OneNewsPH. Like earlier, comments or tweets will be featured as part of our agenda to include you, the public, in the big story.
And still with us here in studio is Social Welfare Secretary Erwin Tulfo. Secretary Tulfo, nakita mo naman yung mga tweets. Yeah. Wala na raw halaga yung 100 pesos. Exactly. In the first cabinet meeting, obviously, tuhog lahat to, di ba? Parang finance, Department of Education, all hands on deck. And it all starts really with the rising prices of goods to the point that a lot of people are saying, baka naman pwedeng expand yung mga ayuda natin, di ba? What are your thoughts and what particularly is the role that DSWD you anticipate can play at this moment in time?
Actually, the concern kasi Robbie and Sean is like yung mga people below the poverty line. Yun ang focus ng DSWD. Yun yung kasing may funds eh. So we don't have funds. Aside from that, outside of that line, wala kaming funds for them right now. But I believe the government will be starting looking for funds for them. Pero for now, allotted lang sa DSWD are those people in 4Ps, yung mga needed assistance, emergency assistance like medical and burial assistance. Yun yung may pondo ang DSWD.
Right, but Erwin, with inflation, just to tie it in with our other big story tonight, right? Inflation at 6.1%. You were handing out with 500 pesos in ayuda previously. That 500 pesos is now, quote-unquote, not 500 pesos anymore. So what about that? Is the priority to, increase the ayuda or to expand the beneficiaries?
You know what we did was like, yes, it's 500 pesos per month, but we increased it to like, we gave them for 2 months na, Sean. So we deposited in their cash cards 1,000 pesos, but still, that's for 2 months. Actually, the promise of the former administration was like 6 months, 500 pesos each month for 6 months. So nagbigay na namin itong for 2 months. But this is for April and May. April and May pa lang. So June and July wala pa. So that's the problem. And then of course the government will have to look for funds for that because it wasn't in the budget in the national budget the funds that we are giving out right now, the 500 peso ayuda because of the rising cost of prices and oil petroleum products.
So
But
go ahead.
Other than ayuda, talk to us about the other social safety nets that the government is considering. For example, nabanggit din ni President Marcos, libreng sakay program itutuloy, or there was a moment there that it was a bit confusing. Sinabi niya ililipat from the MRT to mga jeepneys. Pagkatapos sinabi niya, hindi pala, itutuloy yung libreng sakay, but we will create a program for the students, especially to anticipate them to coming back to face-to-face classes. Talk to us about that and any other social safety nets and support that may be considered.
As far as I could remember, the DOTR Secretary Jimmy Bautista was saying na we can still accommodate students, and then there was one, I think, in the Department of Finance who said like I think we can still do that dahil hindi naman talaga ganun kalaki yung cost because yung kikitain ng gobyerno liliit. But then again, kasi libreng sakay lang naman yun, wala namang added cost sa operational expenses ng LRT or MRT was that. So they said like ituloy na lang for student. Then eventually siguro after 6 months magkakaroon na lang ng discounts.
Will there be any reallocations happening in the budget? We know it's a tedious process and a very complicated one, but will some, funds be reallocated to fund, these social safety net programs or perhaps expand the 4Ps or the ayuda?
Actually, not expand the 4Ps. What the president wanted and the marching order for DSWD is clean the list of the 4Ps kasi nga wastage, that's what he said, para maiwasan ang sayang na pondo na which we can use, the government can use in other projects or programs. And that's what we are doing right now at DSWD. We're trying to clean the list and we're starting. And hopefully in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll come up with a list and then we will come out, we will be taking out about 100,000 people out of that list. Kasi nga, we found out na they're not supposed to be there. I mean, receiving or accepting this benefits. Kasi nga parang niloloko lang nila. Ito yung sinasabi ng mga tao, Sean and Robbie, na may mga tindahan na yung mga anak is graduate, nurse na yung anak or engineer na how come they're still there. So yung neighbors nila na talagang dapat receiving, nagagalit, nagseselos, bakit siya, hindi siya inaalis.
So natenga sila sa waitlist ngayon.
Exactly. Pero I promise our viewers right now who are on the waiting list, you will have your opportunity kasi we're cleaning it now. Marami-rami ho kaming aalisin. Ito po yung instruction sa akin. So just wait in about 3 weeks time, malilinis natin. Liliit po yung tatanggap ng 4Ps na from now like around 4.4 or 4.6. Liliit ho yan, I promise. So yung mga nasa waiting list na matagal-tagal na, makakapasok po
Very
kayo.
quickly, Sec, only if you have if you have basis or authority to share this right now. But do you have an estimate of how big that yung mapupurga dyan?
Our people are still on the ground, but I get feedbacks now na marami-rami ho ito, Secretary, our director for the National Household Targeting Office is telling me like malaki-laki po ito, nasa 6 figures ho ito. So, kasi mga graduates we're used to, DSWD will say like, graduate is 20,000, 30,000 every year. And this one, medyo I was taken aback. I was surprised when he said like, nasa 6 figures. So, mean kasi nasa 100,000 yun. So, we're waiting for the exact number though.
Okay. Secretary Tulfo, maraming salamat po.